these people come and go, and they just keep us waiting.
Yep.
Just hold on to this, okay? Someone's coming down.
Okay, thank you. What time is it?
3:50.
3:50? And we arrived at 2 something.
2:30.
So we were sitting on the first row, first class of the plane. We left the plane, the first ones. We came here. One was running.
And we were guaranteed
That was
we were
gonna
going
be
to
here.
find here. As soon as we arrive, our bags would be here.
They said it's not here. Go and check at the kiosk at the exit. We went there. It says it was in the claim form.
I mean, this was a deal breaker. Without this would have
We
never.
wouldn't, yeah, and we told her, and she was like, well, I already gave your seats to somebody else, and they were very lucky that they got the first class. I can't believe that I accepted something. They gave us their word. 2 people, the 2 ladies over there. And it was just full of lies. And we reinforced, this is a deal breaker, we're on vacations, my birthday. If the luggage is not gonna be there, we'd rather just go right now. Because it's not even the bid that we put online when they ask us for how much would you give it away.
Agreed.
Then we came here, the lady said, oh, it's here, it's here, it's here. We've been waiting. She said, I'm gonna do my best, and I'm guaranteeing it is here. It's just probably lost somewhere in the airport because all these things are happening in New York, and now it's not here. It's so easy to say, well, you know, it's not here, I don't know. Meanwhile, we've been here waiting. So what's the point of flying first class? Even having this type of service doesn't make any sense to me. Kills the mood.
Miami welcomes traveling
it
U.S.
just
military
makes you
personnel
not
to
want
our
to fly with
military
them
hospitality lounge.
Their service
Active
is
duty
not
veterans and retired
up to
military
par.
personnel are welcome to use the lounge, located on the departure level at Concourse D.
This guy told me he was gonna get me inside to check the luggages when I went outside. I said, well, you promised me that to wait for you here because you were gonna call me in like 2 minutes. And he was like, oh, and then he said, oh yes, ma'am, I did promise you. Come inside, because he said if he's not here, then you know it's not here. And I said, well, then you said that you were gonna get me inside to check it out. And then he looked at me when I was an ID, and he said, well, yeah, actually, yes, I did promise you. Come, please, come.
Oh, then were you able to go inside?
Yes, but it wasn't there. Well, my point is that if he knows that we are Skypriority, that we fly or flew in first class, and still he's making us wait, he doesn't honor his word or fulfills the agreements. Again, the service is really poor, and I'm sorry, it doesn't solve anything. After having us an hour and a half coming back and forth looking for it. They keep us waiting here, and I don't know if we need to just be upset, like aggressive, rude, so they give us more, like, better service. I don't get it. I have to be civilized. Excuse me. How much longer is gonna take?
I'm not sure. She was coming from upstairs. I don't know if she's coming from the concourse or the ticket counter. Just give her 2 minutes. I know you.
But we've
you
been
have
here for
someone
over
waiting.
an hour.
No, I know.
And
Give
you
her a
guys
second.
took us, come back and forth from one place to another, and so like we're trying seriously to keep it together and be civil, but it's really
Well, what would you
difficult.
What would you like me to do? You want to take the claim, or you don't want to wait on her? What's the?
Well, you said that you were gonna work on the claim, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we agreed.
Okay. No, you didn't. You just said you wanted to speak to a supervisor. You didn't say
No, I
whether
said.
you wanted to take
Well,
the claim
yeah,
or not.
because that's
Okay,
the
so I'll
next
start the
step.
claim. So while we do the claim, hopefully she'll get down here.
Okay.
May I see the bag tag again, please?
Sure. It's here.
So Beverly, so
Mhm.
what you're saying is that the bag most likely is in that route.
That's what I'm hoping. Yes.
Okay, because it was already checked here in Miami. That's what we went to
Mm-hmm.
the baggage claim machine, which you sent us to, and it says go to
It was claim
parcel
4.
number 4.
Scan it for. Yes, sir.
Claim number 4 did not have our bag, so it's in the round.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what are the next steps for you guys to follow to help us find it?
They just have to keep looking on the ramp.
What do you have in the ramp? Like cars? Like how do people go and check?
It's carts full. Here she is right now. It's carts full of bags. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
what does the bag look like? You said it's a large green bag, right?
It's a
Yeah,
large-
olive
yeah.
green with a heavy tag.
Do you have the brand of the bag?
It's not branded big, but it has a blue handle.
Hello.
A
blue
blue red
handle.
blue
Ooh,
or
it's
red
cold
handle.
here. Feels great. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. How can I assist you?
Hi,
Okay.
Tony.
Hello.
We are extremely frustrated at this moment because our bag is not here, and it was promised to us that it would be here when we arrived to Miami.
Okay. Where's your porch? My agent called and gave me the bag information.
Please report to the
The bag was
information
showing
center at
on hand here
Concourse
at $21.90.
level.
Okay.
Porch.
The guys in the ramp.
2190 is the first flight.
Right.
coming
That's
from
that's
New
what
York
they
City.
were. That's what flight it was on.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
we were told that.
Okay. It got here. Okay. The guys on the ramp has looked. I done went out there and double checked the look. The bags, we can't find the bag. Okay. Not to say a passenger didn't pick it up in error, because all bags look alike. That's why we tell passengers look at the numbers, not the bag and the color.
So you said
okay?
that could be an option.
That's a possibility. Cause look how many black bags out there, and people come pick up a black bag. I don't know what color your bag is. I'm
well,
not
it's
saying.
olive green and has a lot of things,
Okay,
a lot
I'm
of
not.
laces.
I'm not
and-
saying that is
yeah.
it, but you never know. Okay, because you did a voluntary separation of your bag by volunteering to take that later flight. She's gonna open a claim, like I told her. She needs to open a claim that she's already in the process of doing. Open the claim. Once the bag is found, because you volunteered to take that later flight, you will have to come and pick your bag up.
Tony, so where do you guys take accountability on the fact that we were guaranteed in New York, and this was a
Because
deal
deal
breaker,
breaker, we said,
for
'cause
us
we
to
were
say,
flying
we
in
said,
first
if
class,
our bag
it's
does
my
not
birthday,
arrive
it's a
when we
vacation.
landed, we don't want to do
Okay,
this.
but
And
guess what? New
let
York
me-
guaranteed
Tony, let me
it. Go
finish,
ahead.
please.
Okay.
Where does Delta take accountability on its employees guaranteeing this to a first-class client?
Okay. Go ahead. Go
Okay,
ahead.
because then what should I do then? When I pay to Delta, I say my word I'm going to pay, my credit card goes through, and the payment is made. So what do you guys can do on accountability? Because we're going to the Keys. We can't afford to go back to the Keys and come back.
And we
you're
don't
just-
have anything. We don't have
we don't
clothes.
have
We don't have shoes.
anything.
We don't have swimsuit. We don't have anything.
Okay. Can I speak now? Because you told me to wait. So I'm
No.
okay.
So what I need to understand, what are you guys going to do besides your standard procedure, okay, which does not solve for one of employees guaranteeing that the bag will be here, so we can agree to voluntarily help Delta get customers into the plane which they overbooked,
Okay.
because that's the case.
Okay.
So I
So,
need to understand. I need to understand.
And guess
where
what?
you
We
guys are
did
gonna-
guarantee that bag was going to get here.
So
because that bag is guaranteed that it was here.
So
So
what-
1 second now, because let's be fair. We've held up to our part. We guaranteed that bag was here. We can't guarantee and watch every passenger pick up a bag out there. We can't do that. And no system, no airport across the system in Delta can guarantee that we have enough manpower to stand and watch every passenger pick up a bag. We can't do that. I wish I could say we could, but we don't. Okay? So we did hold up to our part by guaranteeing that bag was going to be here. That bag was here. That bag was here in Miami. So yes, New York did guarantee you that because they knew that bag was still going to come on 2190. Okay? So your bag, New York did hold up to it. It was here. It was shown on hand, scanned here. Okay? As far as us delivering a bag, yes, we were overbooked. Yes, we overbooked flights every day. We did not force you off of that aircraft. You voluntarily took a voucher. 1 second. You voluntarily took a voucher. You chose to make that decision. So once you chose to make that decision, okay, that is now saying when this bag is found, you will have to come pick it up. Because even if it was, you took an earlier flight and it was later, you still will have to come back because you voluntarily took a voluntary separation of the bag.
So here's the thing.
Yes,
Before
ma'am.
the gate was closed,
Okay.
I asked the lady because we were ready. We went to check in and go inside of the
I'm sorry.
plane.
Give me 1 second. Okay, go ahead.
And I asked the person, "Is it 100% guarantee that we're gonna have our bag?" And she said, "Well, the bag is in this flight. On this flight, yes, on the first one." And I said, "Hold on. Then it's gonna be a mess because I'm flying on the next one. So I'd rather keep the bag with me."
There was no
and
way
she
for them
said,
to
"There's
pull that-
no
no
way."
way to
So I
pull
said,
that
"Well,
back."
so then I'm not gonna volunteer." And she said, "Well, but I already gave your seats to somebody else." And I said, "But I didn't sign anything. So how come now you're telling me that I cannot?"
Because-
And then she said, "It is 100% true and guaranteed that your bag is going to be waiting for you on the baggage claim." And I said, "Look, this is the first time that we're doing it, and we're doing it because there's a family, there's children, and we're in vacation, so it is okay. But it is my birthday. The beat that you're giving me, it's less than what I put on the system when I check in this morning because we were asked online. And I mean, if it's there, then it's okay. But if it's not going to be there, we don't want to go through the
But your bag
issues.
was here. Your bag
But
was
but
here.
it's not here when she said
Okay.
it was gonna be waiting for us here.
So-
Okay,
at the
but
baggage
once again,
service.
I cannot guarantee you
But
that someone else
this
didn't
is
take
you.
it.
But then there in New
Okay.
York,
But it's
that
not
was
you
not
or her,
they.
it's Delta. You
Okay,
she
Delta.
represents
I
Delta.
represent Delta.
So
She
so does
represented. But we held up to the part. That bag made it to Miami. Oh, sorry. That bag made it to Miami.
But
That bag was on 2190.
But that was not what she guaranteed.
She
What
guaranteed the bag would be here. That's
would
what
be
you
At
said.
the
in
baggage
this
service, holding the
package.
Okay,
office.
once again, if passengers don't pick up bags by error, that bag would have been right there where all the other bags are at.
So, do you guys have any procedure to inform the customers who you ask to volunteer that this can actually happen and they are agreeing to do this
Because there
by
was no
saying
contract
yes?
or anything.
Because none of this information that you're sharing with me
It was shared with us before.
and it's misleading.
Okay, but voluntary separation, all agents across the system are supposed to tell passengers
Well,
when you
that-
volunteer.
were not told
didn't
that.
happen,
Okay,
Toni.
then that's something I need to forward with the New York station. But anytime you decide to do a voluntarily give up your seat, you're doing a voluntary separation of your bag. That means your bag is going to go on this flight, and you're going to go on the first available flight, whichever
Because-
it may have been.
I get it, and it's the same. For example, when I approached Beverly, when I first came here, I said, "This is my first time doing this." They told me in New York that the baggage was going to be here. What should I do? And she said, "With your tag, go to the kiosk under the exit sign and check it." So I honestly and transparent said, "This is my first time. Please guide me." If I was told by me saying this is a deal breaker to have the bag because everything is there. I mean, we're two and everything is there. The person in New York says, "Well, it is a guarantee, but not a guarantee because we don't have the manpower to make sure that your bag is
But
going to be
once
held
again,
in the
but
office."
we're-
Then we don't do it because it just is
But
$600.
we guarantee that your bag will get here. We can't.
No,
there-
but listen,
But
you're
no
not.
guarantee.
I don't know if. I mean, the words that I'm saying is not the guarantee that it's going to be here. She said it's guaranteed that it's going to be held on the baggage service office.
Okay,
it's going to be safe.
Okay, this is how this.
So it's a different message. Do you see the difference?
I get what you're saying, but you have to
because
understand
we're
what
going back and forth.
How will we know? How will she know that's your bag to pick up your bag off that belt? There's no way.
Well, there's sometimes
sometimes
in New York they have like a line here and they check the name with these on the back. So I mean, I don't know if in here in Miami they do the same, but in New York they do it sometimes.
We don't. That's
and in Europe they do it too.
But that's random. In New York they do it.
No.
In Europe they do it too.
And there's a person.
So a Delta agent is checking every passenger that walks out of the New York airport with a bag. That's not possible because that's an international city. I'm telling you, that's not possible. That is not a Delta standard procedure. Nowhere in our system.
I get it now that it's not a Delta regular procedure. Now what I'm sharing with you is the experience that I've had in the past. So if an agent tells me that it is 100% guaranteed that it's here, I totally have trust that it's going to be here.
Okay, the
Because
bag.
then it doesn't make any sense
Okay,
to
once
me.
again.
So I get what you're telling me now. Instead of going back and forth on these, we need to find a solution because we are hosted in a hotel in Key Biscayne. We don't have anything to wear tomorrow or today on the beach or anything. What are we gonna do?
Okay.
Because the claims doesn't. I mean, it really doesn't solve us anything if he's gonna push us to come back here, and it's gonna be a pricey taxi.
We can't. Unfortunately, we can't deliver the bag. That's not.
So where's the accountability? I need to understand that because you know what it feels like is like, look, you do this. Here's what it is. There's nothing that I can do.
Okay, and who's to say that if you were on 2190, okay, in your bag, and when you got downstairs, that bag wasn't here?
Well, you're still responsible for it. Because I pay you to take my bag.
And that's why we do the claim.
So here's the thing.
That's
so
why
if
we
the
do
bag
the
wasn't
claim.
be here, you would send us to our house.
Say that again.
If the bag,
Right, if you didn't do a volunteer, if you didn't do a volunteer
you would send us
that is correct.
Okay, so as a Skypriority first class, there's no service that you provide when these things happen.
No, because
we don't have the bag.
When you did the volunteer for the later flight, that was your volunteer separation.
So what happened? Let's say in this first flight that the bag wasn't here.
What are you saying? The next flight that comes in from New York?
No, the first flight. Imagine that
this it was here. This was on 2190.
But do you understand that the information that we were given was misleading, Toni?
I'm not going to say it was misleading.
How is it not misleading?
How
when
was
they
it?
tell you that it's guaranteed that would be in this specific baggage service office?
And you know that's a phraseology we use all day.
What do you mean by that? Explain that. So you're saying that it's a terminology that
it's a phraseology we use.
But does
that the bag once you arrive, your bag will be held in the Delta Baggage Service Center.
Okay.
That is the phraseology we use.
But
we don't know someone else is going to pick up your bag.
But do you guys then deliver on? What are the measurements that you guys do as a company to make sure that what you're guaranteeing in whatever frame of terms you're using can actually be delivered 100% as a company?
There's nothing no one can guarantee 100%. And let's be honest, you know that, and I know. There's nothing.
Incorrect. With the services that I provide,
so flying.
Okay, at this point, what would you like for me to do within my control?
What is in your control?
For her to open the claim. You open the claim?
I was, yeah.
Okay, for her to open the claim.